Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching NDTV. Recent communal violence in the state of West Bengal, specifically in the district of Murshidabad, has sparked both humanitarian concerns and also a political conflict. Now, these clashes that took place over anti-waqf law protests have escalated and they displaced many residents of the state, many of whom had to take shelter in the neighbouring district of Malda and even in Jharkhand. Now, the National Commission for Women, NCW, visited Malda today to assess conditions and support women affected by the violence. The NHRC, which is the National Human Rights Commission, also sent in a delegation. And it has sought reports on the situation, citing potential human rights violations. Governor Ananda Bose also is on a visit to Malda and Murshidabad. Meanwhile, the Trinamool Congress has blamed Union Home Minister Amit Shah and the BJP for failing to maintain law and order, accusing them of inciting unrest for political gain. Now, it has also accused the BJP of weaponizing violence in the state to score political points. BJP has also shot back and has countered all of this by accusing the TMC of administrative failure and protecting those responsible for this, of appeasement politics. Now, while this episode has deepened political tensions in the state, the question we asked today in the show: how will the people of West Bengal look at socio-political ramifications of the violence in Murshidabad, and how will this impact the way they look at TMC, BJP and even the left parties? So that is what we do today. Before we get to the discussion, here's a report.
About 200 kilometers away from Kolkata, Murshidabad limping back to normalcy, but the governor of West Bengal wasting no time, eager to take stock of the ground reality.
Certainly, there will be a solution to this. The peace and quiet of society will certainly be established at any cost.
Overlooking the Chief Minister's appeal.
আমি রিকোয়েস্ট করব এই মুহূর্তে সিচুয়েশন কেউ যেন আমরা গিয়ে লোকাল ছাড়া, তাহলে আমি যাচ্ছি না কেন? আমি তো যাবো ঠিক টাইমে। আমি অ্যাপিল করব মাননীয় রাজ্যপাল মহাশয়কে, প্লিজ ওয়েট ফিউ ডেজ মোর।
But I have my own assessment of the situation and my own style of functioning, so I'm going ahead. But also I'll try to see that no provocation is given to anybody by my visit.
Trinamool Congress questioning the governor. Why the hurry?
The Chief Minister said that none of us are going to Murshidabad. She herself is not going to Murshidabad, which she could have easily done. She appealed to the governor. Governor did not listen. Obviously, she is being provoked either by the BJP party or by Amit Shah himself.
But it's not just the governor. National Human Rights Commission and National Commission for Women also rushed to Malda, where several people displaced post the violence in Murshidabad have taken temporary shelter.
महिलाओं के साथ अगर उनका उत्पीड़न होता है तो सबसे पहले राष्ट्रीय महिला आयोग उसका संज्ञान लेता है। यहाँ पर भी ऐसी खबरें मिली है, पर उसके लिए उन महिलाओं के साथ मिलना होगा, बातचीत करनी होगी। राष्ट्रीय महिला आयोग उन महिलाओं के सुरक्षा के लिए और उनके सम्मान के लिए जो हमारे अधिकार में है वो सभी कदम हम उठाएंगे।
Bengal government's report submitted to the Calcutta High Court describes the scale of violence in Murshidabad and how there were targeted attacks.
সেটা আনুমানিক সংখ্যা রকমভাবে বলতে পারবো না, জেলা প্রশাসন সেটা দেখছে। ওটা আনুমানিক কোনো নির্দিষ্ট সংখ্যা আমার পক্ষে বলা এখানে ঠিক হবে না। তবে 85 জন ফিরে এসেছেন, রোজই সংখ্যাটা বাড়ছে। তাদেরকে পুলিশ এসকর্ট করে নিয়ে আসছে। তাদের যখন পৌঁছচ্ছেন তাদের রিলিফ মেটেরিয়াল দেওয়া হচ্ছে এবং স্বাভাবিকভাবে আবার যাতে তারা জীবনযাত্রা শুরু করতে পারে তার জন্য যা যা প্রয়োজন, যেখানে যা প্রয়োজন সমস্ত প্রশাসনের তরফ থেকে সরবরাহ করা হচ্ছে।
The West Bengal government report highlights the scale of violence that hit Murshidabad. The Calcutta High Court has ordered the Central Force to continue guarding Murshidabad while leaving it up to the centre to decide whether an NIA probe is required or not. But for now, focus remains on the displaced people and their swift rehabilitation. With GD Shankar, Shreyashide for NDTV.
We have Dr. Shatarupa, who's a spokesperson of the BJP. We have Dr. Fawad Halim, who's the spokesperson of the CPM. We have Jayanto Ghoshal, senior journalist and analyst. Thank you all of you for joining me on this broadcast. Jayanto Ghoshal, to you first. Sir, whatever is happening in Bengal now is not new. We have seen this play out during post-poll violence. We have also seen this during Panchayat polls, then Sandesh Khali. This is textbook BJP versus TMC, and more importantly, lives of people affected here because of violence, because of displacement. How is TMC looking at this? Because the TMC, of course, electorally did well in 2024 Lok Sabha elections, but after that, the Arjikar rape and murder case and subsequent cases which have opened up, including, the teachers' recruitment, seem to have really put the TMC in the spotlight, and their handling of Murshidabad violence is also going to be really keenly watched. How is Mamata Banerjee going to look at this?
First of all, I want to say that it is not very happy hours of Mamata Banerjee or TMC, because it's a disadvantage TMC situation, no doubt of it. Because this deterioration of the law and order, if I don't mention this Hindu-Muslim communal perspective, firstly, it is a deterioration of law and order is state subject. So first of all, the responsibility, it goes with the present ruling regime, no doubt of it. But, how Mamata will handle this, whether she will overcome this or not, these are the electoral perspective, electoral context. That aspect, I am not sure that whether BJP will be benefited. I mean, what is the political consequence? Because this sort of incident, I condemn. And who has done it? TMC is saying that it's a conspiracy, the role of Bangladesh government has denied, but the Home Ministry is also saying that there is a role of Bangladesh. Then the role of infiltration will come, and whose responsibility is this? TMC is saying BSF, and the state police also has some responsibilities. Otherwise, why Mamata government changed the police officials also? The concerned police stations, they have changed the IC and the police head. That means there are some fault lines. Otherwise, there is no need for the change. But the electoral, what you are saying, that how Mamata will handle, that has to be seen, because Mamata is also very, clever politician. She understands 2026 knocking at the door. And where is the proper alternative? The BJP leaders, the central Delhi leadership and the state leadership, state BJP, there is two different stories. Right. Because the organizational capability, to reach out to the people to say all these things. In fact, CPM also has that limitation. Right. So the opposition space, Murshidabad, it's a Adhir Chaudhary and the Congress. What they are doing. I mean, when Mamata Banerjee was in opposition, can you think that this sort of situation, each and every day, we are supposed to see the movement and but BJP, Shatarupa is there, is a very good friend of mine, is a good spokesperson. But I'm sorry to say that BJP is more concerned with Ram Navami, Hindutva, the politics of polarization, but the performance of the government, the issue of the TMC, that is not BJP's priority also. Okay. So as an independent, onlooker of this situation, I am thinking, I'm on that way that this is not a good situation, advantage situation, but for the electoral politics, still Mamata is ahead. Absolutely. It's a no doubt of it.
Dr. Shatarupa, you heard Jayanto Ghoshal out, and also tell me, when I look at the visuals of what is happening there, this is extremely horrific, it's extremely disturbing. Nothing of this sort should happen anywhere, and clearly it's the state government's failure to understand, to anticipate something like this and also make necessary preparations. How is the BJP looking at this? Because the socio-political impact of this is going to be another story. More importantly, how is the BJP looking at this particular charge that the party is also weaponizing whatever is happening in the state for its own political gain, and which is why it may not really get those kind of political gains, is what some people say. How do you see BJP getting the trust of people of Bengal?
Good evening, Vasudha, Joyantada, and Fuad. Yes, we are actually all very good friends, but it's because I think we agree to disagree in a civil manner. So let me begin. Joyantada has, of course, pointed out a lot of things which I will deal with one by one. But you see, we from BJP are pointing out in no uncertain terms that it is Mamata Banerjee who is singularly responsible for what has happened in Murshidabad and is what is still happening in Murshidabad. Even today, you must have got the reports that National Human Commission is here, National Commission for Women is here, the governor himself is on site, and the Mamata government has decided to cover up the shelter camps with a blue tarpaulin sheet because they don't want the victims to communicate with these national level commissions. So the question here is, once again, I'm saying, reiterating on national television that it is Mamata Banerjee with her insensitive comments, with her inciting violent comments, her constant appeasement policy, which is the result of something that has happened in Murshidabad, which fortunately or unfortunately, I have no shame in admitting it, it has gone beyond Mamata's control. Mamata Banerjee is the chief minister who is also the police minister. She has on record told police to look away, to turn away. This is not BJP saying. People on ground have complained to the reporters. Your reporters are also there. That we called the police several times. No one responded. It is the Mamata government which, when the water went over their head, who reached out to BSF. BSF responded. Now they are blaming BSF. Joyantada, in all his journalistic capability, of course, very deftly sidelined the communal angle. But no, Joyantada, this is one place you cannot. Hindu houses are being singled out. Hindu women are being harassed. So this is no time, at least for once, to say that we are doing communal angle here. Let us, for once, for right now, but so just let me finish, 2 more seconds. For some time, I mean, we have still 10 months to go. Let us leave the vote bank vote politics out of it. But let me point out very categorically, here you have the Trinamool leadership making insensitive comments, not being by their side. And on the other hand, you have BJP leadership, leader of opposition runs to the High Court to make sure the central posters are there. And our Honorable State President, Shukanta Mazumdar, who is, mind you, Minister of State of 2 departments, he is sitting on the ground, waiting for the DG to talk to those victims. So that is leadership for you. Our organization is something that we are sorting out. But our leaders are on the road talking on behalf of these women that you are showing on the road. And on the other hand, Mamata Banerjee is busy making deplorable...
Mr. Halim, how do you look at it, sir? As somebody who comes from the CPM, the left parties often get blamed for the culture of violence that exists in West Bengal. And now that so many years have passed, the left is not even in power for many years now. How do you look at this? How do you look at the TMC, like Shatrupa is also talking about, not just the politics of language, but also, the politics of looking away, looking at 2 different protests, in 2 different ways. Where do you think the TMC is making those mistakes there, and where do you think the BJP is sort of gaining?
Well, I think so. It's a very well thought of and very well, calculated move by the BJP and the Trinamool in tandem in regard to what's happening in Murshidabad. We have to keep in mind that Murshidabad is the Muslim majority district and Malda is also a Muslim majority district. And you've got people who are being displaced from Murshidabad going to another Muslim majority district for safety. Now, Parlapur High School, where these people who have been displaced are putting up, that high school is basically in a Muslim majority area. And from this, you can get a sense that even the people who have been displaced from Murshidabad, their Muslim neighbors have accompanied them, they have gone along with them, they have visited them. So there is an element of understanding at the level of the peoples that this issue should not be communalized. there are anti-socials who are taking advantage of it, anti-socials both of the BJP and the Trinamool Congress, and there's a larger context. The larger context is that you've got the governor going to that place 10 days after escalations took place.
Right.
Now, when the issue is petering out, when the issue is dying out, when normalcy is returning to that place, you see the governor by his visit over there and invoking the NIA has again given life to that agenda, which is very important for the Trinamool Congress at this point of time, because they have been in a corner regarding the massive corruption scandal that they have organized, and the BJP is also not above this corruption scandal, because you have to keep in mind the cabinet that took the decision on this corruption issue, a cabinet that existed today is the BJP leadership in West Bengal. So, ek hi thali ke chatte batte hain. So they are in a corner at the moment, and they need to keep this issue alive, and that is the role that the governor is playing here.
So that's an important point. Jayanta Ghoshal, political parties benefiting from communal polarization is a very sad reality in this country. But if I talk about Mamata Banerjee, every time there's a corruption case involving any of her party colleagues, she comes out of that saying that there's no personal corruption. Like, she still remains, there are no allegations of corruption against Mamata Banerjee personally. When it comes to teachers' case, she'll come out and say, I'll make sure that I'll fight for you in the Supreme Court. But when it comes to this allegation of Muslim appeasement, she is on the back foot. She cannot talk about how Hindu houses are being completely ransacked by the protesters. Is this one weak link? Is this a political compulsion that she's unable to overcome? And is that something that's going to cost her in the future?
You know, this is a very good question, Vasudha, because, you know, this is the state where 30% Muslim population is there. And this is the first time I just analyzing the BJP's politics. Not only BJP is trying to consolidate the Hindu vote, BJP is now trying to break the Muslim vote also. BJP yesterday, Narendra Modi ji met the Muslim leaders who were supporting the waqf bill. And Narendra Modi is giving the message that we are not anti-Muslim. Now, whether they are anti-Muslim or pro-Muslim, that is the TMC's campaign. They will reach to the people that it's a fake pro-Muslim stand, but it is actually anti-Muslim. But if you can break the Muslim vote, but a section of Muslim population, what we have seen? We have seen this, what murder has taken place, not only the murder, incidentally they are Hindus. And I don't want to communalize the issue again and again, I am saying, because now it's a very complicated situation. We should beyond this communal disharmony.
Right.
And, you know, that on that very day, we have seen a visual that in the midday meal in the school, one Hindu boy and the Muslim student, they are taking their food together. So that also West Bengal.
Right.
But, you know, if you can break the Muslim vote, otherwise BJP cannot win. Because if 30% vote, if CPM can revive their own Muslim vote bank, if the Indian Secular Front, if they can got this Muslim vote, if they can get, then it will be advantage BJP.
Right.
But this time, for the first time, as Mamata Banerjee is saying that it's a conspiracy, we have seen the section of Muslims are protesting against TMC. TMC, they are attacking the TMC party office. So Mamata is saying that these people are not actually anti-TMC, but they got some money, like the Kashmiri youths, stone throwing, so this is the conspiracy.
But
so investigation will say,
help us also
but
understand.
It is true that it's a BJP's politics is also very strong in this
issue. But
Jayanta,
is there also a difference in the way Mamata Banerjee treats an ISF protest, or a Siddiqullah Chaudhary protest? Because there are some Muslims who are more radicalized than the others, and she's hoping to latch on to the majority of Muslims, and that is what something that is very clearly visible to the Hindu population. And in Murshidabad, that is also the population that's taking the brunt of the violence, Mr.
Exactly, exactly. Mamata Banerjee is trying for that. And that's why she went to the Furfura Sharif also recently. On the Ram Navami day, there is a apprehension that communal disharmony we can see. But on that day, there is a rather is a opposite visuals that Muslim population, they participated in the Hindus' rallies in Ram Navami, and they were distributing laddus. But just within few days, that may be organized by TMC on that day.
Right.
To give the message that Muslims are not anti-Hindu. But this is a very funny situation that this incident, there should not be any conflict between Central Home Ministry and the state government. It's a communal, if it is a communal issue, Home Ministry is saying that there is a role of Bangladesh. I think the electoral politics has become more dangerous for the Aam Janta like me in West Bengal. We now want some center-state coordination also.
Right.
Even you can call a all-party meeting, including CPM and the other Congress leaders, and there should be a consensus. Because, this Murshidabad case, it is a vulnerable, and it can spread, because in Hooghly also, there is some tension.
Absolutely. So, you heard Jantu, and he's made very important points. The fact that BJP has been in power for over 11 years now, the fact that TMC has been constantly raising these concerns around fencing, do you also think that it is time for the centre to also ensure that it plays the role of the role that is designated to the central government very seriously, in ensuring that it is not about my outsiders versus your outsiders, but it's about safety and security of all people of Bengal specifically?
Vasudha, what you asked now is almost in rhetoric, I would say. I have been on shows on NDTV discussing that the Prime Minister responded to the Chief Minister's call, and within 1 hour, the Prime Minister of India was sitting in West Bengal for over half an hour waiting for the Chief Minister. If you remember Amphan, he was here, he was ready to dispense funds, but he wanted to know the situation. The Chief Minister was absconding with the Chief Secretary. I don't want to get into that. This is just one example. The Home Minister has constantly been responding by immediately deploying central forces. Home Ministry has been constantly asking the state government of West Bengal, give us land to fence the border. So they are not going to do that. She always wants to get into war. She did that with CAA. She went around chanting Kaka Chichi. She did this in CAA. Now she wants to go against the central government on waqf. Anything, if the central government says that the sun is rising in the east, she will turn and said, no. Just because Narendra Modi said the sun is now rising in the west. This is her mentality. You see, for the development of any state, as a resident, a proud resident of West Bengal, I really would like a much more better coordinated state government. But this is not to happen.
Yes.
It will never happen.
Would the CPM be ready for an all-party-led solution for something like this? Is the violence in Bengal, does it really merit something like this? Because clearly every year there are either instances of post-poll violence or something like this, and clearly this needs a larger solution. Mr. Halim?
That are what you call active here in Bengal have to come together to put an end to what's happening. And the happenings in Murshidabad should not spread and should not escalate. One is very, very clear on that. But one also has to keep in mind the machinations that are going on. You've got Amit Shah very categorically saying 5 days ago that Bengal needs a nationalist force to be in power, even if the BJP doesn't come to power. So that's a very clear signal by Amit Shah to the rank and file of the Sangh and the BJP that you are not ready at the moment. So let the Trinamool continue, otherwise the left will grow in strength over here. So if you have the Home Minister, what you call having this type of an attitude in terms of who the national government would like the state government's position be occupied by, then you definitely have those complications, and those complications are playing itself out. You haven't seen the BJP on the roads regarding the corruption issue. You haven't seen the BJP fighting the corruption issues in the courts. You haven't seen the BJP actively taking up on the TMC on issues
So
that are
that is
actually
something that needs
affecting
to
the
be done,
people.
and that is something that even Ratu
It's like
Bhushal
a
and
B team.
Shatrupa
It's a
also
B
pointed
team
out.
that the BJP is
Right.
playing.
Okay, thank you so much, all of you, for joining me on this broadcast. Also joining me now is Rudraprataap Banerjee, who is a TMC MP. Thank you so much for speaking to us on NDTV, sir. My first question to you, the NHRC, NCW, both are in West Bengal today assessing the situation on ground. Governor CV Ananda Bose was also there meeting people who have been fleeing violence in Murshidabad. How is the TMC looking at the situation? Because it clearly is in the dock here, and people have been displaced, victims of violence, of protests that escalated. All of this is clearly not a good sign for any government.
See, elections in Bengal are next year. Due next year in 2026, Bengal is going for the assembly elections. Now, BJP has made its agenda for Bengal crystal clear. Number one, deliver provocative speeches. Number two, most important, spread misinformation. Number three, incite communal tensions. And number four, watch West Bengal burn. This politics of hate has failed before. People of Bengal under the leadership of Mamta Banerjee has earlier foiled such attempts. And people who are coming to Bengal now, in 2021, we have seen that there have been passengers coming daily. In Bengali, we have a common term called Delhi passenger. People who are coming from outside, they were traveling to Bengal, Delhi. These different bodies, they have come, no problem, but problem lies elsewhere. Problem is, in Bengal, there is a pulse of Ma Mati Manush. Along with that Ma Mati Manush, there is also a pulse of March. I will just tell you, the people who are coming to Bengal, see, we have seen in textbooks in BJP-ruled government, in textbooks of this government's omission of Tagore has taken place. Fine. People who are omitting Tagore, they may come to Bengal, they may give us sermons, but people of Bengal know that a conspiracy is afoot to defame Bengal and disrupt its harmony, and unfortunately, the Godi media is running a relentless smear campaign. BJP India is continuously spreading disinformation, disturbing images. I will repeat, disturbing images unrelated to our state are being circulated to malign the state's image.
Right. Mr. Banerjee, but how do you see BJP making this claim that it is all because of TMC's appeasement politics? A lot of victims are Hindus here, while you have blamed the centers, but law and order clearly is a state subject, sir.
I will raise one point which I raised in the parliament while speaking on the foreigners and immigration bill. See, Bengal has a big border. The entire we have a huge border along with Bangladesh. So, Home Ministry extended border security force reach from 15 kilometers to 50 kilometers in Bengal. India cannot be straitjacketed. While in Gujarat, it was reduced from 80 kilometers to 50 kilometers. In Bengal, it was increased from 15 kilometers to 50 kilometers. Now, make no mistake, this was a calculated political ploy by the ruling dispensation at the center to flood Bengal with outsiders and stir unrest before the elections. I am telling you what has happened actually. The people, this whatever violence had been incited, these are outsider people, they have come in. And people, the common people don't know them. From outside they have come. This is a calculated political ploy to flood Bengal with outsiders and stir unrest before our assembly elections.
My last question to you, sir. What are the larger steps that the government is planning for peace to prevail in the state? Every year we hear of some or the other violence in Bengal, either to do with elections or to do with communal politics. The Waqf law is in place now, although the hearing is going on. What is the TMC plan to ensure lasting peace in the state?
Peace and harmony. Protesters, see, peace and harmony has been an integral part of Bengal for centuries. First, religion has never played a part in Bengal. As far as Bengal is concerned, our history is a very old history. We have a 1200-year-old recorded history, and that history categorically tells us that this politics of hatred, that has no place in Bengal. Bengal never accepts this politics of hate, politics of misinformation, whatever BJP may try. BJP, we know, is a well-oiled misinformation machine, spreading lies with alarming efficiency. But Bengal knows, people of Bengal is very confident. People of Bengal doesn't look upon people, doesn't identify people with religion. So that is not Bengal. Bengal, peace and harmony is an everlasting phenomena here, and that's why BJP will never succeed in Bengal. And Mamata Banerjee, the Chief Minister of Bengal, she is taking, this is a situation where she is active enough, and the government is very much active, so that the peace and harmony prevails in Bengal, and Bengal will foil any attempts to divide people on lines of religion.
Thank you so much, Mr. Banerjee, for speaking to NDTV.